The figures are very worrying indeed. It's believed close to 1 million people have been cut off from access to food and medical aid in the past year. Here in Bama town in Borno, clear evidence of just how dire the crisis has become.
Behind me, as you see here, is a graveyard where they buried the mortality cases. Most of the cases died because of hunger and lack of water, and then followed by lack of medicine.
A month ago, MSF said more than 1,200 people had died of starvation and illness. That's in Bama hospital compound alone.
They are not allowed to go out of the camp. They are all within the camp. And from here, either to the military points, apart from the military joints, they are not going to go anywhere. They are residing here.
MSF says at least 15% of children here are suffering from life-threatening malnutrition.
We've been in this queue for the last 3 days now. We have no water and no food, and that's what's worrying us.
Aid agencies are only allowed in with a military escort. The army is busy battling Boko Haram, and the militants have a strangle grip on key access roads in the region. Catherine Omwando, CCTV.
Well, let's get you more now on that development. CCTV Sophia Adengo is joining me live from Abuja. Sophia, just how serious and how severe is that drought threat in northeast Nigeria? What's been the government's response?
Well, Beatrice, the official stand on displaced persons in the northeast is about 2 million, although Doctors Without Borders and other aid agencies present more numbers in terms of the displaced, and almost 56% of those that are displaced are children or unaccompanied minors, of which are suffering malnutrition or acute shortages of food, water, and some kind of sanitation. And when we spoke to the military concerning the response to this area in terms of fighting and also the aid response, they asserted that they are working directly with the National Emergency Management Authority, who have been in the region a great majority of the last 6 years in responding firsthand to the humanitarian effort there in the northeast. However, the National Emergency Management Authority has also called upon international agencies, not only relying on the federal or the state resources to address the humanitarian issue, but also looking at the international effort in bolstering or stepping up more efforts. But the response from the government primarily is that they have dislodged Boko Haram in many of these key areas and are requiring that many of these populations not stay necessarily in the aid camps, but also are relocated to their original homes and therefore catered for in a sense of providing first-hand, and first basic, I guess, response to them, including medical and food, and also water and sanitation to these vulnerable populations. Beatrice.
Well, Sophia, you have mentioned that the government has asked for more international assistance from the international agencies. Are the international agencies, though, scaling up their role there? What exactly is their role? Because the UN is estimating that about 3 million people may be affected.
Well, according to Doctors Without Borders, Beatrice, even though the number is estimated to be about 3 million displaced people in Nigeria, the numbers are spilling over into a regional dimension of a humanitarian crisis. In other words, refugee populations crossing into Cameroon, Chad, and Niger, and needing this acute attention in terms of providing food and water. And at the end of the day, what we are realizing here in Nigeria is that the scale of the the crisis is really overwhelming a lot of the international aid agencies. Doctors Without Borders has also been joined by the International Red Cross. World Food Program has also scaled up their effort in the Northeast over the last 12 months, really addressing some of these acute malnutrition problems and the food scarcity there in the Northeast. Beatrice.
Well, the area that is most affected is a former stronghold of Boko Haram. In terms of the Boko Haram insurgency, what is the latest when it comes to the fighting, the Boko Haram, and the militancy itself?
Well, the military continues to assert that they have dislodged Boko Haram from many of the major towns, and no longer does Boko Haram hold, towns completely taken over, but instead have retreated completely into these outskirts in the Boko Haram, areas that we know now to be the Sambisa forest, and that operations are underway in really stripping away, the foothold that Boko Haram had in that specific area. But if you consider numbers, Beatrice, the humanitarian effort in comparison due to Boko Haram's activities is really what is increasing as a result of the the displacement, and of course reaching these vulnerable communities is this result of an increased number of people who need this direct humanitarian support. Beatrice.
Right, Sophia Adengo for us there in Abuja. Thank you.